All right, here we are. We're on First Street in the city of Santa Ana. We are leaving my monthly doctor's appointment, man. I know these aren't the best locks, but that's better than nothing. It's better than not having anything. So the first part of the ride, I rode through Tustin, and I had a phone call during that ride, and I didn't really have much to say during that ride, so I ended up just now deleting part 1 of this video. But I don't think anybody's gonna miss out on anything. I feel a lot better now than I did on my way here. You know, sometimes when you do these rides, if you have stuff going on or things that you need to do, you know, that not like errands or anything like that, but people you need to talk to or issues you need to resolve, it's better to make that things that can be accomplished by, you know, through a phone call or a text message, a short brief conversation, you know, clearing the air as much as possible before you ride is always a good idea. I found for myself, I'm speaking for myself here. Oh. All right. So here we go. So it is, let's see, let's go, let's check things out here. So it's 4:29. Looks a little later than that, but I still see some sun shining. So yeah, I guess we're gonna stay on Tustin Avenue. We're gonna trip out on these people at Golden Circle here. Ugh. I should be good at pushing my bike through doors by now, but some doors are heavier than others. All right, so, oh yeah, let's get on this wind horse. The wind horse. You just never know what you're gonna come across out here on in this neighborhood. It's just always it's always an adventure, and I haven't even put my key in my bike yet. So hopefully I don't have to make a quick getaway because, god damn it. Come on, man. There we go. Power up, power up. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna see in this crazy neighborhood. Ooh. So I was very conservative on my way here, so we're sitting at 95 percentile on the battery. Oh, I think we're gonna be able to jump out in front of this van. We're gonna have to go kind of fast here. It was floating across the intersection, bro. And now we're gonna float across this one. Dang, let's go by these fools. I don't even know if we can make it past them. There's too many. We're gonna have to go off-roading. We'll go off-roading around them. Oh yeah.
And
Go off-roading. Hell yeah. It's party time over here on at Golden Circle. Party time, bro. All right. So those people didn't even pay any attention to me whatsoever. Hey, what's up, man? Chilling. So yeah, Golden Circle. So this is usually the beginning of Motel Row for me in the morning time when I take that route. Got to dodge the random poop logs. There was a poop log on the street there on the sidewalk. Let's see what's going on up here. This guy's got. I want to check out this new graffiti right here. It's pretty crazy out here. What's up, man? It's always a sad area for me, you know, not because of the people here, but there's a rehabilitation spot right here. It's pretty, looks like somebody else bought it and they're fixing it up, but my mom stayed here. In that rehabilitation place for a couple, probably a few weeks, maybe a month. It was a really bad time for her and for myself. And then she actually passed away at this hospital up here. So I don't know if I've mentioned that in any videos before. So when I'm taking this route in the morning, or I'm going home on this route up Tustin, that's always somewhere right here in my heart. I feel that pain. So she lived in Porterville in the Central Valley, and it slowly descended into this strange dementia, which I think had to do with some medication she was on. And she was on all sorts of different medications, but one of them specifically was for anxiety. And she was on way more than she should have been on for her size. She was only about 5 foot tall, 4'11", and she was on either alprazolam or lorazepam. I don't know. I don't remember the name. But she was taking like a lot a day, and the doctor kept giving it to her. And she lived in a retirement community. She was probably about 79 at that time. This has only been a few years ago. I don't know. I've lost track of time. So she was she was wandering around. She lived in a trailer park, so she had been wandering around her trailer park quite often, and then also calling the ambulance on herself on a pretty regular basis. And some family members were supposed to be taking care of her, and they weren't. I guess she had burned a lot of people out. So so I went and got her. I had to go pick her up, and I brought her out here, and then she stayed in our house for a couple weeks, and she was just like out of her mind. And she would just lay in bed and then get up at night and just wander around the house looking for me. And zero lucidity ever. I mean, she knew who I was. And then she finally kind of just like one day she was just like, I gotta go to the hospital. She started panicking. She was wanting to call an ambulance, and I don't know what, I can't really recall what exactly was prompting her to want to do this. So then I took her to the hospital, and then she stayed in kind of a psychiatric, evaluation kind of thing. And then she ended up leaving there and came to this hospital. And then from this hospital, she went to that rehabilitation place. And then at the rehabilitation place, she got COVID, and then she ended up here. And so I came to see her, and they had the whole place was just in like quarantine, and you had to go through zippers and all kinds of stuff just to get to your loved one. And she was on dialysis, and her whole body was just shutting down, and unconscious. She wasn't awake, and she finally passed away. They couldn't, so I was there with her, held her hand, and watched her take her last breath right here. It's pretty crazy. But I think, if she would have stayed where she was at, she would have, who knows what would have happened. Guess that's been several years ago. I think I probably try to block it out of my mind. No. All right. Tustin Avenue. Welcome to the chaos. So I think we're gonna go to this other side. Let's go to the other side. I could probably make it across over here right now, but we'll wait till we get the little white glowing human crossing sign. It's starting to get cold. Oh yeah. Brake test. Smokies. So I've gone by these stores over here before, but it's been a while. So I like this little section of stores over here. So you have OC Lock and Key, you've got Bell Bonds, you've got Smokies Smoke and Vape Shop, then you have a nutrition store. But we're gonna go back and go deeper into this little strip mall right here. Deep into the strip mall of life. You gotta be the craziest person on the corner. That's the only way to survive. Gotta be the craziest person on the corner. All right, here we go. Let's go this way. All right, so you're gonna trip out on this little strip mall back here. You get a lot done right here. So you recall what was over here, there's the nutrition place. But over here, you have a bar called Harry's. So you've got Harry's Irish Pub right here. So were this 5 years ago, I probably would stop by here and have a beer, but I don't drink anymore. And you can get some insurance while you're here. You can get tattoos, flowers, House of Glam, and then check this out, ammo. Oh man, hell yeah. Massage parlor. I'm gonna get a copyright. Hell yeah. I wonder if I'll get a copyright on that. Hopefully not. We already got a couple good shorts on this ride. I like it. So let's go by the let's go through the drive-thru at In-N-Out here. Hell yeah, In-N-Out. Oh, bam! There's three shorts in a row. Man. A little bit of that Ice Cube. I can remember when I first started listening to Eazy-E and NWA. I think I've talked about it before. It's when I used to hang out with my friend Justin. Yeah, it was before that album. That album came out in the 90s. But Straight Outta Compton and Eazy-E, Easy Does It, that came out when I still lived out in the country, out in Terabella. I was still in elementary school when that came out. And Justin and I would, I had talked about us, our bomb building days. This was probably right around then. And we would still build Legos. We would build stuff out of Legos or build models or whatever. And but we got really into NWA and Eazy-E, and we'd wear the Raiders hats or the Kings hats, Pendletons, like the whole nine. I go over to his house and he'd have his hat all slammed, Raiders hat, colored in the letters with black marker, sitting at his drawing. He had a drafting table. Go upstairs to his house and he'd be listening to NWA or Eazy-E, building Legos or building a model. It's pretty funny. we're interesting couple of kids, you know. So I don't know what year. You know, I've listened to the Eazy-E album, Easy Does It. I listened to that first. And he actually had an album before Easy Does It, or at least he had some singles. I know he had. So I'm thinking that, like, when did I know Easy Does It didn't come out in 80. I know it didn't come out in 87. I think it came out probably in 88. And I think Straight Outta Compton must have came out in 90 or maybe 89. Probably 89. Maybe it came out in 88 too. It wasn't long after. Or maybe I just didn't get my hands on it. I don't really remember. But back then I used to listen to a lot of not hip hop, but gangster rap. And I don't even know how we got exposed to it. I probably got exposed to it through my my brother. More than likely from my brother. So he had friends he would hang out with, you know, and he was in high school. So my brother was 5 years older than me. So he was in high school. So he was already exposed to all that stuff first. So like the music stuff that I got into first was, you know, of course, was influenced by my dad, and then hanging out at the country bar that my mom used to bartend at a log cabin bar out in the country, and then my dad also worked for them. So I heard a lot of old jukebox country music, and then my dad, of course, listened to, you know, all the stuff you'd expect somebody, you know, in 1980 to listen to, you know, like David Bowie, Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, stuff like that, you know. Even listen to like Deep Purple. I never heard any Pink Floyd at home. Never heard the Doors at home. But so that was like what I would listen to, and then I really got back then. You know, on Saturdays you could listen to Casey Kasem's Top 40. So I listened to a lot of the, you know, radio music, and then my brother. He got into like 80s like metal, like but you know, the stuff you see on MTV, like kind of like the hair band stuff. So what was the first one? You know, Van Halen, of course. And my sister was even older. I don't know how old my sister is. She had moved out when I was young, but she's probably at least 10 years older than me, maybe more. And then so like anyway, so yeah, like I can remember you know, listening to Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, you know, Van Halen, of course. What else would we listen to, man? Rat, that band Rat. Listen to Rat, and then Guns N' Roses, of course, came out kind of a little bit later. Cinderella, that kind of music. So that was a phase that I got into because of my brother, and then he had gotten into it because there was some rocker girls that ended up going to. So that was when I was really young. But at our elementary school, there was some, so I would have been in 5th or 6th grade at that time. There were some rocker girls, that ended up going to our school, and I think like all the guys, all the older students were like into them, and they lived down the street from us, and like we went over to their house one time, and of course I tagged along, and I remember they had all those rock posters like up on their walls, and we went to a Christian school, so it was like, whoa, man. Well, I remember thinking like, wow, this is cool, man. Like, I really liked that song, Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Anyway, so that's the type of music I was listening to. And then shortly thereafter, he got into rap. We also went through the whole breakdancing thing too. So, rap was always kind of a part of it as well. And then, MTV Raps, we started watching that. And then the gangster rap stuff kind of slowly crept in. But I would listen to, I'd listen to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I'd listen to Ice-T. Speaking of gangster rap, like Ice-T, his album Rhyme Pays. I love that album, man. I could rap. I liked Ice-T a lot. Then you had that 2 Live Crew stuff came out. That was terrible. But I can remember when that came out. All right, calm down with the Corvettes. But can we stay on this curve without falling over? Look at that. Oh, look at that move. Oh, jeez. Almost got. I listened to Slick Rick. What else did we listen to? Even, I hate to say it, but DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, when they had one album I think called Rock the House. So I did listen to that. Not a lot though. I knew even then, I was like, this is kind of too trendy, because by then I'd already been listening to like Ice-T, so. Yeah, I've always had like an eclectic taste for music. I spent a lot of time, like, I don't know how old I was when I got my first radio, but I had this, one of those little radios, just a little tiny one. And I didn't have one of the cool, a lot of people were getting the ghetto blasters back then. You could put them on your shoulder and listen to your cassette tapes. I never got one of those, but I did have a little tiny radio that I could plug in, and I can remember playing with Hot Wheels. I was that young in my room playing with Hot Wheels and listening to music, just regular music. And I would write the lyrics down to the songs I liked and memorize lyrics. Yeah, I don't know why I was so into music. Like, we weren't a music house. I mean, my dad was always into music, but I don't know what it was, man. Chickity check yourself before you wreck yourself. When I got into high school, I don't remember what I was listening to when I first started high school. Probably that same kind of stuff. I started listening to probably more like like the violent, more alternative type of stuff, like the Violent Femmes, and then Jane's Addiction, and then it kind of like went into some more metal and punk, like, of course, I talked about it before, Danzig and the Misfits, and Dead Kennedys. Sometimes heavier stuff like Slayer. Wasn't a big Metallica fan. I was more of a Slayer fan, but I did listen to And Justice for All from Metallica. I really like that album a lot. And then a little bit of the Black Album, but not really. But I remember, yeah, the Slayer, when I first heard Slayer, I was like, I heard Slayer late, you know, because Slayer, I don't know when Show No Mercy came out. Show No Mercy came out in the early 80s. When did it come out? Like 82? Something crazy like that. And but I had this friend, not a friend, but a classmate. I think it was when I was a freshman. I think his name was David Linson, something like that. Not a really tall dude, kind of skinny, dark, very dark skinned, dark curly hair. Not super tall, really skinny, and he wore metal shirts. And I had him in my woodshop class, and he would draw pictures, like just all these crazy ass pictures on his desk, like, or on the tables, or on a piece of paper of these really small graphics of these angel and demon fights, you know, like just this total, good versus evil drawings, like in pentagrams and upside down crosses on his desk or wherever, everywhere. And he talked really super slow, like he was obviously like under the influence, you know, he was probably smoking out, you know, before class. And he like never wanted to do any work, and he would always get into arguments with the teacher. And the teacher, the teacher's name was Mr. Roundtree. Like, I can't remember all the details, all the really tiny details. There's just, you know, fragments that I can remember. But Mr. Roundtree would get mad at him, and I remember this one day he kicked David out of the class, and he told him, just get out of my classroom. And I can remember David just going, "Okay, Mr. Roundtree." And he stops before he gets out the door, and he goes, "Mr. Roundtree, you'll never work in this town again." And then he walks out of the classroom. I can remember that, but that's when I first heard about Slayer, because that's what David listened to. But the first time I really got into Slayer was watching Headbangers Ball on, I guess that was MTV, and they did that song. And see, this is way later. This is after Rain and Blood. They had Seasons in the Abyss, but that song, Seasons in the Abyss, in that music video, like I'd heard about Slayer before and listened to their music a little bit, but when I saw that video and the opening to that song was so dark, and man, it was I would listen to that song over and over again. So I'm a little, I guess I'm a little delirious and going on and on about strange things right now, like music, but I know there's not a lot of continuity what I'm talking about, but this is just stuff that's popping up in my mind right now. You know, it started with the check yourself before you wreck yourself, coming out of that guy's Impala, and that just kind of sparked the theme of the ride, which is me babbling on about music. So favorite bands, I don't know. I have a lot of favorite bands. I'll have to talk about that another time. I have too many favorite bands. What am I listening to right now? Right now I'm listening to, I just go on YouTube and I do my recommendations. I go through those videos, and that's usually what I'm going to listen to. So lately I've been watching a lot of live. I love watching live music, so I've been watching a lot of live shows from Black Sabbath, old shows, and just really tripping out on Ozzy Osbourne. Like, man, he was just an amazing, I mean, the whole band is amazing, but he just has a great voice, you know. And Black Sabbath was just like I'm not a Led Zeppelin guy, I'm a Black Sabbath guy for sure. And I know musically maybe people are gonna say that Led Zeppelin's superior and Robert Plant's better, but for me it's like I'm like Slayer, not Metallica. I'm Black Sabbath, not Led Zeppelin, you know. Anyway. Alright, well that's gonna end the video, y'all. Hopefully I'm not too annoying about talking about this craziness, but I'll be back to normal next video. We'll catch you on the next one.